Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Cut My Music Wrestling Uncut. I am the Black Patriot, and this is the wrestling podcast where we always put wrestling first because wrestling is our number one priority. Remember, like, comment, share, subscribe. That small thing to you, but for us it means the world, and it means the world to the channel. And right off the back, I'm just going to jump into the video. And if this week's programming in WWE don't get you thinking, don't have you scratching your head, then you're just not paying attention. We have a very lame build-up to War Games. Survivor Series is right around the corner, and the build is just not hitting where it should be. SmackDown is receiving record low viewership while Raw continues to be stagnant. Netflix reported that Raw has 2.4 million viewers. That may sound good on paper, but what you don't realize is that is for the whole week. So we don't know what they actually got while the broadcast was going on. That's 2.4 million viewers for a whole week. Mind you, Netflix is a global platform. 2.4 million viewers for a whole week worldwide. That should tell you two things. It should tell you that people are not tuning in, and that should tell you they're not bringing in casuals. That is a point that I've been trying to stress when people talk about this mysterious draw, this magic draw, the casual fan base. Roman Reigns is the only draw in the industry. We have Cena, but obviously Cena is in his retirement tour. He's on his way out the door. There is no magic draw. The days of the Hulk Hogan's and the Stone Cold Steve Austin bringing millions of viewers to the product is done. It's done. This is something that some people want to say is done on purpose. I don't believe that. I believe it is inept. People are just bad at their job. Triple H is a horrible booker. He's worse than Tony Khan and certainly worse than Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And you could take the whole John Cena retirement tour and use that as an example. It has been nothing. It has been mid. Do you even care? Do you care about John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio? Really? Because they're going to have a match at Survivor Series. John Cena literally only has 2 dates left. Survivor Series, and then by the time it gets to Saturday Night Main Event, we should know who he's going to face. And at that event, the winner of the Last Time Is Now tournament, we know it's going to be Gunther. Like, come on. Come on. You know it's going to be Gunther. So you're wasting one of his second to last appearances on, get this guys, a match we've already seen. We've already seen John Cena defeat Dominic Mysterio. So you're wasting one of his last date on a match you've already seen on Raw. That's an overarching topic that we've always discussed on this channel. That the matches that you get on these pay-per-view, on these PLEs, are just glorified Raw and SmackDown matches. They don't mean anything. There's no gravitas. There's no excitement. There's nothing riveting about what you're getting. But what Triple H does do is cheap pop booking. He's not trying to give you the long-term storytelling that everybody used to claim he was doing, and I'm looking at the product like, what are these people talking about, young? The IWC is crazy. Like, there is no long-term storytelling. Triple H books for right then and now. I would not be surprised if they put the shows together just a few hours before they go live. This is how they trick you. Because I heard people saying that this was the best Raw ever. Really? Solo Sikoa versus Dolph Ziggler? Maxine Dupree versus Becky Lynch? Gunther versus Jovan Evans? John Cena, Sheamus, and Rey Mysterio versus the Judgment Day? And Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns brawl in the ring? This is the best Raw ever. You're sitting down as a wrestling fan and you saw Solo Sikoa versus Dolph Ziggler and Maxine Dupree versus Becky Lynch and 2 brawl segments, and this is the best Raw ever. This is why I say it's cheap pop booking, and I'm going to call the name of this video Triple H's Treacherous Booking, because it's trickery. It's snake and oil. You got this lame ass card full of nothing but jobbers. The jobbers job while the actual quote unquote or so-called stars do nothing. The only person that's in a match that was not a jobber was John Cena. What have Rey Mysterio and Sheamus been doing? Yeah, they get a win here and there, but for the most part, they're jobbers. They're there to put over other people. They are there to put over more important stars that are higher up the pecking order. This is not riveting. This is not must-see TV. Why would you want to see a show full of people that's in their 40s and pushing 50? Where is the young talent? Where is the new stars? There are none. Triple H has failed to create any stars. So that's why we have to rely on AJ Lee returning, Roman Reigns returning, a good pop for Dolph Ziggler's return. We're going to roll out Brock Lesnar, who has what? We've only seen him twice this year when he beat John Cena for no reason, and now? What have Brock Lesnar been doing? Roman Reigns shows up here and there, shows up for something and then disappears for months on end. We have not seen AJ Lee since she beat Becky Lynch at WrestlePalooza. This is cheap pop booking. This is the pop the crowd and then trick your mind at home to think you saw a good show when in reality you saw a garbage product. I would give this Raw that we just seen a D. I would give the SmackDown that passed an F. It was the worst SmackDown I ever witnessed. If I did not have to watch these shows to create content for my channel, I would not. And I'm a lifelong wrestling fan, but this is bad. At this point, you cannot sit up here and say you're enjoying this. Definitely it does not come across. It does not translate well to the viewer watching at home. Yeah, the crowd in attendance get to sing. They get to chant the wrestlers' theme songs. And oh my goodness, they'll pop for Roman Reigns, but they're there. They're in the arena. What about us that's watching it at home? I'm not about to be sitting in my house singing Seth Rollins' theme song at the top of my lungs or Cody Rhodes' song. I'm not going to be singing songs here. I want to watch a program that's entertaining. I want to turn on a wrestling program and actually enjoy the content that I just consumed. Instead, I turn on a wrestling program and I am immediately off-put. These shows are off-putting. Nobody wants to watch this mess. There are no stories. There's nothing backing up any of these matches. The John Cena Last Time Now tournament is cheap pop booking. A bunch of jobbers wrestling for no reason when you see that John Cena is the prize. Who's going to retire John Cena? You have a whole tournament full of guys that weren't doing anything. When was the last time you seen Gunther on your TV? Ask yourself that. But this is what we at. This is what we get. A tournament to see who fights John Cena. Oh my God. Bring back Vince. Triple H is killing this company. Bring back Vince McMahon. At least he understood what... If he was booking John Cena's retirement tour, I 100% guarantee it would feel special. You would feel like John Cena's last match on Raw was a 6-man tag match with Sheamus and Rey Mysterio versus the Judgment Day. A team that always loses. They call my man Finn Balor. JD McJobber. Like, get this mess out of here. Don't nobody want to see this crap. You got Maxine Dupree, who I like her. Not gonna lie, I do like her. However, she is nowhere near ring ready, and certainly she's not ready for a championship. But she walks into this ring as green as frog shit, and she beats Becky Lynch with the worst crossbody I've ever seen. That is what you book for Becky. The woman that was voted the greatest female WWE superstar ever. And it's not just me that's saying that. Sports Illustrated says that. But you got her losing to a jobber with a crossbody. Becky deserves better. Maxine Dupree has never drawn a dime. She barely wrestles. When has she wrestled? That's outside of mixing it up with Becky, what she's been doing. What was her last great match? But she deserves the Intercontinental title? What happened to Roxanne Perez? Where's Raquel Rodriguez? Becky and Lyra don't even show up on the show. I mean, Bayley and Lyra, you see them once or twice backstage and that's it. I could argue that Raquel, Roxanne, Bayley, or Lyra deserves a Intercontinental title more than Maxine Dupree does. What has Maxine done to even be in the conversation for a title? But you have your greatest female wrestler of all time losing to her multiple times. And by a cross body. For God's sake, what is Maxine Dupree's finisher? Is her finisher the cross body? Like, get out of here. Who in their right mind wants to watch this mess? And I hate to do it. I don't want to come on this channel and call names, but this bot-like WWE fans, these drones, these sports entertainment cucks are the ones that saying this was the best Raw ever. Really? Solo Sikoa versus Dolph Ziggler. Maxine Dupree versus Becky Lynch. Gunther versus Jovan Evans. This is the best Raw you've ever seen. So the hell with Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. Attitude Era don't mean nothing. Ruthless Aggression Era, Kurt Angle, Batista, Undertaker. This is the best Raw you've ever seen. Hold on. Solo Sikoa versus Dolph Ziggler. Maxine Dupree versus Becky Lynch. Gunther versus Jovan Evans. This show was trash. And anybody who thought this was a good episode of Monday Night Raw is stupid. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you anymore. You're stupid. And you're the reason why the product is bad. Because if WWE receives no pushback, they're going to keep putting out this mediocre, boring, garbage ass product. And it makes no sense. Because you're also the ones that's pumping your hard-earned dollar into this disgustingly bad product. Mid is an understatement. Mid would be a C. This is not a C product. This is an F if I ever saw it. And this booking, this cheap pop booking, relying on old stars because you failed to build new ones. Okay, so you got a bunch of dudes that's either mid-40s or approaching 50. In 5 years, where's WWE going to be? Because most of the guys that are wrestling now will not be around in the next 4 to 5 years. You think these guys are going to be wrestling when they're 51, 52? No, they will not. Either this company is going to change for the better now, or it's going to go out of business. Because nobody is going to watch this crap. And with SmackDown dipping below 1 million viewers for the first time in its 2-decade-plus history shows you that. Pretty soon, their SmackDown is going to be getting AEW numbers. And at this point, you cannot even say AEW is better because both shows are equally bad. But if you want a damn good wrestling match, AEW is the better product without question. Because at least they put on hella good matches. Raw is a snooze fest. SmackDown is unwatchable. How many times are we going to see Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns? Vince beat that horse to death. They fought each other at least 15 times. Nobody want to see that crap. You got wrestlers coming out and they not even dressed in their ring gear because they already know they're not doing anything. Rhea Ripley does not wrestle. She does nothing on these shows. Io Sky does not wrestle. She does nothing on these shows. CM Punk does not wrestle. Cody Rhodes does not wrestle. Look at the show. Look how many wrestlers are not even in ring gear. Because they know they're not doing anything. But you just want to yeet and you want to sing fucking songs. This is ridiculous, yo. I blame idiot bot fans like y'all more so than I blame the company. Because if you're not going to hold WWE to the task, if you're going to keep pumping money into this nonsense, then you should be fleeced at every level. Let WWE rob you. They kicked a rapper out of the show a few weeks ago, and that's neither here nor there. But his goddamn seat was $5,000 for a Monday Night Raw. His seat was $5,000. I used to go to WWE events every time they came to my city. I have never paid over $200 for a ticket when Vince McMahon was running this company. And I had good seats. I've walked right down to the ring when the show was over because that's how close I was to the ring. And I ain't paid nowhere near $5,000, not even $1,000. You got fucking seats going for $5,000 for a Monday Night Raw? No way. No way. That is what they're going to do. Instead of making the actual product that we consume better, they're just going to price everything. And they're going to price your poor behind out. Because you can't afford $5,000 seats, but you're going to keep giving your money to a company that's robbing you hand and foot. All right. It takes pushback for WWE to change course. If you do not push back, this is what we're going to get. Boring, bland, unwatchable shows. SmackDown has been terrible. Raw has been garbage. The PLE's been trash. WrestleMania this year was terrible, and everybody is aware of it because everybody said this was the worst WrestleMania ever. How do you ruin WrestleMania? The magic is gone. Nobody cares. Technically, we are on the road to WrestleMania. The Royal After Survivor Series, we are on the road to WrestleMania. Everything that's going to happen at these PLEs should be building up for WrestleMania. Do you care? I certainly don't. But enjoy Jovan Evans versus Gunther. Enjoy Maxine Dupree versus Becky Lynch. But this was the best Raw you've ever seen. Yeah, I like Dolph Ziggler. I was a fan back in the day. I haven't seen this man in WWE in 5 years. Why should I care? What is the story? A random thrown together tournament full of jobbers is not a story. Why should I care about these matches? That is the question you need to ask yourself. Stop being a bot. Employ critical thinking. Think for yourself. These shows are terrible. There's nothing left to do. There's nothing left to do but stop watching. Stop giving them the little bit of ratings that they are getting. Because this is ridiculous. It'll be one thing, like I said, AEW lacks storytelling as well, but at least you get a darn good match. And I'm telling you right now, Survivor Series War Games will not measure up to AEW Blood and Guts. At least they are wrestling their ass off in that company. WWE, you get no good wrestling matches, no stories, people crisscrossing brands. At this point, they should just end the brand split and just wrestlers belong on both shows, because that is what this is. Nothing makes sense. There's no continuity. It's just pandemonium. And pandemonium is good if it wasn't fucking boring. I do not enjoy boring shows. I do not want to turn on Monday Night Raw and be bored to death. And SmackDown's supposed to be returning in 3 hours. They're really going to kill that show. It's on a Friday night. Ain't nobody about to sit there and waste their Friday night watching a boring ass show. Get out of here with this mess. At the end of the day, it is up to the consumers of the product to let the distributors of said product know that the product is bad. You have the power. You have a voice. Use it. Stop being a bot. The show was bad. Raw was terrible. War Games is going to be terrible. How many times have you seen that collection of wrestlers? You throw in Drew McIntyre, you throw in Cody Rhodes, even though LA Knight has been feuding with the Vision this whole time, but the LA Knight thing is another, he's done, he's cooked. But you get nonsensical, ridiculous booking. The only people that would like this is children or imbeciles. Because you have to be 10 or a dumbass to think this was good. I'm the Black Patriot. This has been Cut My Music Wrestling Uncut. Remember, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe, and check out the other page, Cut My Music Wrestling with Mark and Kev. We got good things on both channels for you. We love the support. We thank you for the support. Peace out and stay safe.